So I distinctly remember doing my final exam, and then a week later, I was in Dhaka, one of the most populated cities in the world, trying to make a TV show. No experience. And essentially the show is a group of friends exploring their parents' homelands. It's like a huge cultural exchange program.
This is Creator, the podcast from Matador Network. I'm your host, Ross Borden, and I believe creators are the future of all global advertising. So join me as I sit down with top creators to hear about how they got started, the challenges they've overcome, and the tips you need to become a full-time creator. All right, we're back with another episode of Creator, the podcast. Today I have Abu Finiin, a Londoner who pitched the BBC on a TV show. They never got back to him, and he made the show anyway. Abu, welcome to the pod. How you doing?
Thank you very much for having me, Ross. Yeah, I'm doing good. I've actually just come back from a trip last night, so a little bit tired, but excited to have this conversation.
Tell people who haven't seen Kids of the Colony, like, what was the idea? What was the impetus behind the series? Who did you do it with, and how's it been going so far?
Yeah, so a bit of a long story, but I was in uni. I wanted to get into media. I've done different work experiences to do with media, and then I had a show idea. I've really, really believed in the show idea. I was in my final year of university, and I thought, I'd kind of struck gold. At times I should have been revising for my final exams. I was writing up pitch decks and emailing production companies, thinking, I'm about to leave uni, and then I'm about to go clear and go nuclear with this idea. I knew nothing about the world of TV, perhaps a bit naive in thinking that a good idea would be enough to end up on the screen. And when I realized that wasn't going to happen, I initially lured my friends to be in a TV show with me. So we were just going to go on your average lads holiday that we do every summer. And I said to my friends, look, I've got an idea where, because London is incredibly multicultural and diverse. We're all Londoners, very distinctly London, but our parents from all over the world. So I got a bunch of my friends together and said, look, instead of going on holiday to have a little party, have a bit of fun, I've got this idea where we can still have fun, but it would also be a lot more of a deeper journey. So we started with my friend Kayam, he's from Bangladesh. And so I'm like, look, we've got to go to Bangladesh. So I distinctly remember doing my final exam, and then a week later, I was in Dhaka, one of the most populated cities in the world, trying to make a TV show. No experience. That done kind of well. We've developed it. And essentially the main show, the flagship show on our channel, is a group of friends exploring their parents' homelands. It's like a huge cultural exchange program that's very funny and very informative.
And what was the reaction from your friends when you said, hey, instead of the run-of-the-mill lads holiday, we're going to go to Bangladesh, Somaliland, and Morocco?
So the series revolves around three main characters: myself, my friend Kayam, and my friend Zach. So Zach is half Moroccan, half English. We're all British, and then Kayam's family's from Bangladesh, and then I'm from Somaliland. And so we started with Bangladesh. Bangladesh was kind of like the trial run. It was hard, picking the order. The way I kind of picked it was, okay, Somaliland's my country. That's going to be the best one. So that can't be first. Morocco is already quite touristy. So I'm like,
right.
That can't be the first series. We've got to start with a bang. So I was like, okay, Bangladesh. It has that perfect mix. I know we can draw the audience. There's not much sort of media that comes out of it, and then it's exciting enough to start with a bang. My friends were incredibly supportive. I want to say they believed in it, but they didn't really know what was going on. For some context, they've never posted on social media in a way to create content. They've never thought about a career in TV or social media, but that's exactly what I wanted. And that's what made the show work so well. Because I thought the moment that they tried to be, okay, I want to be a YouTube star, social media star, the show didn't work. The show worked because it was an ordinary group of friends that have known each other for 10 years plus, going on a fun adventure, exchanging their cultures. I was really appreciative the fact that they did that. And they put their own money in it as well, because flights were expensive, visas were expensive. If this doesn't work, it's just an amazing experience to learn about your friend's family. There were so many deep moments. I got to meet Kayam's grandfather, for example. I got to go to his house in the village in a city called Sylhet, where it was just like a house in the middle of a jungle, and there were rice farms and there were cows, and I met his grandfather, that very, very incredibly old man, and he was just telling just crazy stories, and then Kayam was beside me translating, and I'm like, okay, even if this doesn't go anywhere, this is just an amazing experience for friends to have.
This really, it really caused a lot of attention. You did an op-ed in GQ, the BBC reported on the show. Why do you think it struck such a chord with Londoners and people all over the world that you guys did this series?
One reason, on a local London level, we are a group of like working class, inner city, diverse young men creating what is kind of like a high quality TV show essentially. And that's quite rare in London. Like TV, the industry is very closed off. There's a lot of like YouTubers from similar backgrounds to myself. But this was like a large scale independent travel show. So I thought that really resonated with people from similar backgrounds to myself. The other level to it was the diaspora of the country that we were visiting. So we've done the Bangladesh series. There were a lot of Bengali people of all ages saying, this is amazing. Bangladesh is never represented like this. This feels so fresh, so unique. So there was that level. And on the wider level, the identity of children of immigrants is very new. It's a very new identity that's being forged currently through different forms of media, but a lot of people related to it. And the final one, I feel like, was just the story of the social video that really went off was the video of me explaining how I pitched the show, got rejected, and created it myself. And that story of sort of like struggle, rejection, and overcoming that was kind of universal to whatever you're doing. You could want to be a fashion designer or a filmmaker. And I feel like that related to a lot of people as well. And that kind of helped spread the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing that's been so amazing about the creator economy is that people are not asking permission. They're not trying to pitch the big companies, the big media companies, even though you did. It may be in your experience, based on your experience, would you even suggest that people try to pitch normal, production studios, TV networks, or just do it all on your own?
Honestly, do it on your own. If an idea is strong enough, there was like a recent, I think like a 19-year-old that created a short film on YouTube, and now he's doing a horror film with A24. It's just like people want to see ideas now. Like the whole industry has changed as opposed to like 30 years ago because everyone can create something. Like you've got a phone, so you can go out and create it and then pitch it, show it works, show the proof. Because I feel like in this day and age, having that idea is just not enough. Like it doesn't show that you really care about it. You just got to really do something about it.
Yeah, and if you go for it, you could probably make something and show someone at least a pilot instead of just a deck or just an idea.
Exactly.
I think that's such a more powerful way to pitch. What was the idea? Because you didn't just go to these countries, but you had challenges. Like, what was the whole layout of the show structure?
So the Bangladesh series, we never knew what we were doing. I remember just buying a bunch of cameras and thinking, yeah, like it's simple, just turn on the camera and we're there and record it, which is incredibly stupid looking back. I was turning on certain cameras for the first time in Bangladesh, thinking that it would be easy to use it. When it came to Somaliland, I was like, okay, I kind of got to be ready for this. And so I was like, okay, we need a format. And I had such a great format. The format was Zach and Kayam are going to work different Somali jobs. And through that, they're going to learn about the culture and learn about sort of like these unique little traditions. And also, it really gave them an idea of what it's like to be like an average person by living their day in their life. So I had them working these jobs. Like, for example, we worked on a water truck delivering water to the neighborhoods. So the way Somaliland works is that each house is connected to like a water tank, and that's your source of water. So that's got to be filled up. It's not like in the UK or in America where you just turn on your tap. You have to fill up the physical tank, the container. So we were surfing around on the top of this huge water truck, finding houses that needed water and filling them up.
How did you even get them that job? Like, did you guys just walk up to people and say, hey, we're shooting this documentary style show. We want to live a day in the life. Like, how did you organize that ahead of time, or was it like right when you got there?
No, interesting. This is important for context. So before we did that series, I was living in Hargeisa, which is the capital city of Somaliland, for about 3 months. And I was living in the neighborhood that my parents grew up in. And so I hadn't been back for about 10 years. So it all kind of felt fresh and new to me as well. And the way I was living is what dictated the challenges in the series. So for example, my local tea shop, my local cafe that I would go to every day and like speak to their elders and learn the history from them, that became a challenge because I made Zach and Kayam serve tea to Somali people because tea is like a really huge cultural thing in Somaliland. It's kind of like a pub to them. So that became a challenge. When my house needed water, I'm seeing this big water truck pulling up to my house. I'm like, okay, my brain's starting to tick. Okay, that was a challenge. When I needed to convert money at the market, I went to like a money exchange where I convert dollars to Somaliland shillings, and these huge piles of cash because $1 is about 8,000 Somaliland shillings. So you're getting these stacks, wads of cash.
Right.
When I give them $10, I'm like, okay, that is an amazing challenge. Get them to, transfer the money. So yeah, that's how it came about. It was just immersing myself in the environment for a few weeks. And then when it came to do the series, I was like, okay, because I could have done your traditional YouTube type stuff. But I was like, no, I've got to let them understand how I was living. And then that's where the challenges of the different jobs came about. And people were you have to realize that I was producing a show. It's quite a high level show if you watch it. But I had to produce
it's great
it.
production. I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's really good.
No, thank you very much. So I was producing it. I was starring in it as well. I was narrating it. So the production side became really easy because the people in my local area were incredibly receptive to my ideas and incredibly welcoming because not a lot of people visit Somaliland. So when they saw these bunch of young UK guys, everyone was just down to help. It just made everything so much easier.
Quick question about Somalia versus Somaliland. My Africa geography is pretty good, but what is Somaliland inside of Somalia?
Yeah, so it's an unrecognized country, essentially a de facto state in the northern area of Somalia. There was a civil war. So in 1991, Somaliland declared itself as an independent state and has effectively been running as that since. So it's got its own government, its own currency, its own army, everything. It just isn't internationally recognized.
So looking forward now, Abu, what's the new show about? Are you done with Kids of the Colony? Is that series done? And then now you're doing something else on your own, or what's next for you?
No, we're continuing the series. It's kind of like we've visited each other's countries already. And I was like, okay, how do we go around that? I was like, okay, we can just have a fourth member who's a guest for each season. And that just kind of keeps the story alive. So I had an Albanian friend who's also British. And last month we went to Albania with him, which was great because when you go with someone that's connected to the country you're visiting, you get a whole new different perspective as well. It make a lot of little things are easier, such as like speaking to people and knowing where to go. But you get a real authentic experience because we stayed at his parents' house in his town, which is quite a quiet town as well. We created a similar series. This one, again, based on challenges and based on like crazy exploration. I thought it would be incredibly difficult to top Somaliland because I was like, okay, that's peak. Education was funny. So I was a bit worried. And also because I hadn't been to Albania as well. Because in Somaliland, I was so hands-on. I'm like, yeah, this is my city. Yeah, this is what this is. I had to take a step back. And I was essentially a cast member almost. like didn't have as much responsibility as I usually have. So I was concerned until I watched back the footage, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is incredible.
And how are you funding future episodes? Like, because you said your buddies who were in the first 3 episodes are actually going with you as cast members. So the group traveling is getting bigger because you now have a new guest. You guys have different camera operators. How are you guys funding? Have you guys had any luck finding sponsorship for the series?
No, which has been incredibly difficult. We just recently got management, actually. So hopefully that situation changes. But that's why there's not a lot of content on the channel, because we go back to our ordinary lives, work a bit, take a bit of leave, spend all the money we've just earned on travel, and then go back to our lives. But I really think we're on like the precipice of, once we get that first brand deal, because we never had a brand deal, hopefully the ball just starts rolling. So it's been incredibly difficult. Yeah. It's been incredibly difficult.
That's how it happens. Every creator we talk to, that first brand deal fuels the next couple, episodes or bits of content. And then there's the one big brand deal, and then boom, they're a full-time creator forever. That's the story I've heard over and over again on this show. Well, I think this series is amazing. I will definitely be tuning in to future episodes. One question, you guys were completely unknown when you started. Maybe you had a personal Instagram or whatever. You said your friends weren't even posting on social media. What was the platform? What was like the moment that all of a sudden you were getting featured in BBC and thousands of people were watching your videos? Was that TikTok or was it YouTube, or where did it first blow up where people it became a thing that people knew about?
TikTok,
yeah.
100%. So the first BBC article that we did was because when we were in Somaliland, it was so easy to go viral because Zach, for example, is white and he's in Somaliland. So the views were just booming, and like news kind of spread within Somaliland. I remember one absolutely crazy moment. Me, Zach, Kayam walking down the street. We just went to go eat, and we were on TikTok Live, and we bumped into a kid on the street that none of us knew, and he was watching our live. It was like a little Inception moment.
That is crazy.
And then the main one I did was a explainer video. That was quite recent, 3-4 months ago now, where I just explained the concept, and we pitched it, we created it, this is how I created it. It's like a 1.5 minute complete rundown of the full story, and that's the one that really changed things. That got over 1 million views on TikTok, almost 1 million on Instagram. And what's crazy is like even the YouTube went up by like 5,000 subscribers based on a TikTok video, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm posting on YouTube, and even when I post on YouTube, it doesn't jump like that. A lot of big creators that I've watched, like Amelia de Moldenberg, who does Chicken Shop Date, Munir Chawawa, who's another British comedian, and then also Kyrie Irving, which is my favorite basketball player, NBA champion. He followed me on Kids of the Colony, and so it was just a really reaffirming moment that, hey, like you can do this and people care about your story. And what's crazy is that video was just a throwaway. I remember thinking that day, I'm just going to post a clip. Like chop up the long form YouTube video and just post a funny moment from the YouTube video, which is what I was normally doing, posting like one a day.
Instead of doing the full explainer video of like how it all started and the pitch and everything.
I never knew that video was going to do well. Like I just did it, and that just completely changed everything. And I don't want to talk too much, but what's incredibly funny, ironic, satisfying, is that the channel that we pitched to have circled back, and something might be coming out. Yeah,
nice.
Something might be coming out very soon. So full circle moment.
Yeah, badass, man. Yeah, they turned you down, and you're like, I made the show anyway, and now.
What's even more interesting is that the show that they're doing is, because we spent so much time on it, they've just licensed the footage that we already have on YouTube. So they're essentially taking our show and taking the 5-6 episodes and making it into like a half-hour special. But yeah, it's like they could have had the whole show. Like they could have had the whole show.
Well, maybe they will. Maybe they will, or maybe you don't even need them, and you keep just cranking on YouTube. But
exactly.
Abu, we got to wrap. But great talking to you. Congrats on the success. Keep going, dude. You guys will be successful. I love the show, and love your energy. And congrats on everything. For those who don't follow you already, where can people find you online?
So where you can find me is Kids of the Colony on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and yeah.
All right, Abu. Thanks for the time, man.
Nice one, Ross. Thank you very much.
Creator, the podcast, is produced by Matador Network. We are a leading global travel publisher focused on travel and adventure. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe. Every week, I interview a new top creator. New episodes are released every Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are found. Thanks for listening.